In January of 2019, I started making videos about manga and anime, and by November of 2019, I started doing videos about lesser known manga series, not the big ones, like Naruto and all the ones everybody else reads. So since then, I've did over 300 videos. So I've got it down to not a science, but at least a fast way of doing it. And you can see from the way I used to do it, it was just videos about Joshi, which is the JK. So what I usually do is I usually start recording the voice over Audacity and in the different paragraphs. And the longest section I do is cleaning up the individual clips. You see, I grab the clips like that, and I run a program that is called Waifu X2 Cafe. And it's a simple little program that takes the captured one I just used by snippet and makes it twice as big and cleans it up. So it gets rid of the dot lines and that, like some of this stuff here. And that usually takes for like 30 or 40 frames. Pictures is grabbed. It takes about an hour or so. So it's one of the longer processes. And I already did that and have it already set into a folder. The series I'm going to be doing on, is called A College Girl Who Gets Picked Up at a Mixer by an Older Girl. And the story is basically about a college girl who gets picked up at a mixer by an older girl. The title is self-explanatory because mangas like to tell you stuff exactly what it's about. So I will pause this, and these series I have all of my playlists there. This is called it Joshi, and all they are is they're the different scenes on it. So what I usually do is put these there. I have everything ready to go. The program I used is called Movie Studio 2023 Platinum Theme Edition. It's a simpler editor than something like the Adobe series, because I've never learned that, but I've been using this one for so long that it becomes second nature. So usually the first things I do is load in all the voice stuff that I've done. So it's basically
A college girl named Rika.
all done there. And as you can tell by that, the length of the video is going to be, in this case, around, like it normally is, around, this is a shorter one, 250. And I've already pre-selected the background music too, so we just pop that in and we change that down to something that doesn't drown everything out in the background. So when you play it,
A college girl named Rika gets roped
it goes up.
a mixer where she meets an older girl named Natsuko, and they are
There we go.
enamored with each other. This is
All right. So after I've done that, the next thing to do is to help with copyright is to, let's shorten this up, is to load in my little background guy who looks at him. I do that to block some of the frames, because there's always a problem with possibly copyright issues. And if you're blocking a little bit of it, it does help to cut down. So I have these guys looking back and forth, and I gotta crank this up more. Looking back and forth for each one. And I just do the back and forth, sets it up, and I resize it afterwards. But the longest part is I figured out after many trials that this is the best way to get everything so it sets up right. And since I've been doing it this way, I have not been hit with a copyright infringement at all. And so that helps a bunch, because I'm not here to do for copyright stuff. It's like a summary of, this is, when they show things on TV and they do, the trailer type thing. It's enough that it covers it, but you can still understand what's going on. So I just do back and forth several times. And Also gets the there, and one more. I think that's the no, two more. So that's been doing this. I used to have a animated avatar there. It was, if you've been seeing the channel before, it was a wolf that I used from was animated, that synced to the voice. But gonna make sure you go right, left. Some people started saying it was too furry like, so I stopped using that. And of course I give something up. It's never a perfect thing. We have to move everything down so I have enough space for everything. So this is a very simple program. It still has all the elements of the Adobe section, but it's a lot easier to learn if you're not haven't really done much with editing software. So that's why I've been using it. Shorten it up. So the next thing to do is to start adding the different scenes. And 1, 2, and 3. They should line up to what I'm saying in the video, so that's always a fun thing. And I do simple transitions, just back and forth. I guess I should make these guys shorten this guy up so he's not taking over the whole screen. And we go back and forth, doing the same thing each time. So it makes it real easy to do. Is nothing, it's all, what was that, WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, listed on the screen. We go back and forth. And we look at where we're at. We're at 4, 5, 5 is usually goes in the middle because it's the chapters. I basically have this works the same function each time. Introduction, and then 2 paragraphs about what's going on. 3rd paragraph about thoughts or other things that happened. 5th one is usually a summary of all what the different volumes are. Depends, and some are a lot more than others. And the last one is usually the summary and the outro that we stick in there. We face them, so we'll be facing what you're supposed to face. So as I said, I start dropping in the different chapters, the different things each time. And 1. I do have the script written beside me there, so I know at least roughly where everything goes, so you can keep track of stuff. That's the last one. And I could also listen to what's going on there.
Her to help her friend, but after she had a bit too much to drink, she started to be hit on.
Right there, and we keep adding. Shorten it down. As I do simple transitions, just fade transitions.
Spills a drink on it. After pulling her away to the bathroom to clean up.
And we shorten it more. I have to always listen to it.
To be hit on by an obnoxious guy when splash.
Splash. So we got to have the splash part in there with it. All right. Keep adding, just add it layer by layer. And we listen, keep everything in.
The other girl, Natsuko, and she is instantly smitten with her.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, and we should get down to the end. And yeah, make it smaller so it fits in the end of the chapter here and the overlay. And we just continue on. And each one, as you can tell, each different section here is set. Now I forget where it was. You always have to, looking left and right here, going in. And we keep adding section by section. 1, 2, and keep just, gotta check something here.
Takes to university.
Delete. So I want to put the thing about where she's the bus driver. Where to talk about being a bus driver. There we go. Everything lines up, and then after that we just keep stacking them up. One baby picture. Since I've been doing this for a while, everything just kind of pops in. Pops in. 5 is we hit the part where we hit the covers. So we got a cover, picture, cover, a picture, cover, and a picture. And then the rest we just keep in because I'm just talking roughly there. Yeah, picture and picture. And then finally for the end is just briefly talking about the summary of the whole section. And we add 1, 2, and we listen to where the outro is.
Yuri rom-com that should be an easy read and a complete one too. Another Yuri rom-com series that I've covered is Our Teachers Are Dating. And you can find more about that series here.
All right, and then you just line it all up. 1, and add the final one to it that stretches out to the end. And we add our end of screen, which is two to there. Now everything after that is just a matter of resizing everything so it fits in. We have chroma key. Well, actually, I'll add the background to this guy already. Let's see, we will have a moving background usually put for this, and since we're here and it's a nice story, we will have the kitten playing. Then we make this into the chroma key and set it to black, and then position there, the background, bigger. And the background will continue up to there. And that continues from there. And we do transitions. This is a very simple little program that it allows you just to fade, fade, fade. Out, and after that, I make sure all the different fades are set so they're equal. And 2, make sure everything is going in and out fine. 1, 2. Extend, fade, 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 up, extend, extend, extend. I don't know how many people are actually interested in this type of thing, but this is not what all YouTubers go through, but you know that you have to learn some sort of skill in editing, whether it's using the fancy Adobe stuff or just something that comes with Windows, or in some cases the Apple editing. But no matter what you use, as long as it's something you're used to using, you can, after a while, it becomes his second nature. So then we just add some backgrounds to these, and backgrounds. Add some simple little ones to effect, make it bigger. Usually each scene change, I change the backgrounds some, and since this is talking about school stuff, we'll add a school. And just back and forth. And if you don't have the backgrounds in the black, nobody likes just a black background. I try and switch them up each time, make something that looks nice. So when the stuff does sleep through, it's easy to see, and it's not just a black background. And back to big, make it so it fits the whole thing. And number 4. And extend. And have it marked here so I know in between this, there's no talking. You can go back and forth pretty easily. And we make this a nice background there. And there. All right, now that's done. Definitely save. Always, the rule is always save, no matter what. There is auto saves, but if you did a whole bunch of work and it turns out that it all gets lost, after this, it's just a matter of lining each of the pictures up so they can see enough, but the little guy does obstruct it just a little bit. Again, for copyright protection. Things like the covers, though, don't have to worry about because they're already out in the public, because they are what you see at the stores. So that's never a problem. And 1, and 2. Maybe use some of its own stuff to block it. That works just as fine. And we, again, it's just back and forth, moving it around. Try and keep the story in there so you can see what's going on. And 1, 2. So Like I said, I've been doing this type of thing for, at least for my channel, for 2 years now. Been using this Movie Studio Platinum Steam Edition. Steam Edition because it's easier to get and it's always there. So when you change your computer, which I will be changing my computer soon because there's a game going to be coming out and my poor old video card has not got the strength to be able to play it. I think it's called Starfield. It's by Bethesda. I've been playing Diablo 4 recently. That doesn't take much. Diablo doesn't take much of anything to play. But pink. But yeah, with that other one, I've only got a 4 gig card, and the Starfield needs at least an 8. So I'm planning, after the computer I'm using right now is around 6 years old, and in gaming form, 6 years old is ancient. Luckily, my processor and everything has been okay, so I haven't had to worry about that. It's just the poor old video card, because the most important parts in a computer for gamers is your CPU first of all, then your video card, and after that having enough memory, system RAM. And I have lots of system RAM on this sucker, but as I said, the poor little video card just can't keep up with the newer stuff. Boom and boom. So yeah. And now we just set, we move the chapters. There's only 3. It's a complete series, this series, so it only has 3 to worry about. And I try and put them back and forth. If they're single ones, if I have a double, I try and keep them in order, but it allows just stuff in the background to happen. And in the third one, since we already know based on this cover what happens in the ending, because it does actually have an ending, this is not really a spoiler because it's already listed. And pink, and the fan service, and chibi stuff, and the finale. It goes on, you just there, and trying to look the cute little kitten in the background. And go here because our ending screen will pop up there. And that is, other than I say, that is basically, after this, what I usually do is, you should do is play through the whole thing to make sure everything lines up, and do stuff like make sure there's fades and everything. I really don't want to do it on this one because this is, we're just showing the whole video, and this video should be going out the week of the, I think it's the 27th of June. And then I'll put this, well, this will have the background of it too, of how it's done, and we make sure it fades. So things like,
hit that like button, drop a comment, and check out the 20 plus other lesser known Yuri series that I have looked at. Thanks again. Bye.
and that's all there's to it for doing these type of videos. It takes longer to do the preset up than actually doing the setup here as it is. So is, oh wow, oh man, oh man.